right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Coach's Playbook for this week. This is a super exciting episode because we're going to make some predictions for 2020.
Yikes.
Yeah.
We get to have a little fun here.
Yeah, we'll get a prize out or something like that. But basically right now we want to go through some of the products that are most traded by our traders. And we're going to go out on a limb. We don't give a lot of predictions. And we're going to see maybe where they are on December 31st, 2020.
And we are saying settles or opens up on that day. We got to get very specific about
I
this.
plan on hitting it right where it is at noon that day.
Nobody told me we were picking prices. I thought we were just saying up or down.
Oh, no.
I'm ill prepared for this
Well,
segment
be
today.
ready, because I have all the answers, so don't worry about it.
Of course you do.
I'm
do.
just gonna piggyback and go, a point over, or a dollar under, whatever
Price
these
is Right
guys
style.
say.
You say, not you,
Unless they're
not
wrong.
you, you're cool, not you.
Yeah, we're going to go to quarter ticks for these, for everything. All right, but before we do that, Mick, I understand you might have some traders that you'd like to shout out
I
at.
got a couple big numbers to share. Big shout out to Rebecca Williams. She put up 1,900 trading equities in her funded account yesterday. Philip Bogner put up 1,550 trading crude oil the other day as well, despite it being a pretty narrow range. I think it was the narrowest range I've seen day trading session, and actually a 23-hour session, going back to April or something like
wow,
that.
that's
I
outstanding.
wasn't counting ticks, from the low to high, but just eyeballing it. So
That's
nice
pretty
job.
spectacular.
Well, congratulations to Rebecca and Philip B. I see Philip B a lot in those lists. He's made some good trades in the past. So anyway, we'd like to start this out with maybe a good one that I think a lot of people have opinions on, which is the S&P 500.
Currently trading right at that 3,200 mark.
So we're at 3,200 right now. Let's start right to left. Where is the S&P 500 going to be 1 year from 2 weeks from now?
Our right or their right?
It's stage right, so that'd be you.
Stage right? No, I have to go last because
No,
I
we're
didn't
done.
know that we had to predict prices.
right,
I
Dan,
just said
Dan,
this.
you
I know we're going higher.
We're going to kick it off because Dan is actually sitting stage right. So.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know the
You can just
organization.
say, well, it's either going higher or lower.
I think it's going higher in 2020.
And if any of you guys out there watching want to throw down your
Yeah, let's
predictions
hear
as
your
well,
actual predictions,
Let's
your
hear
numbers, where you think it's
we'll
going to
get
go.
a big bottle of champagne or something. Why not? It's a year away. I don't have to worry
I'll
about it.
I'll elaborate.
I'll think about this in a year from now.
So I predict higher. I'll just elaborate with cliff notes, and I'm jumping out of this order that we talked about. You guys call out the prices on this, but I think we're going to have to really look at this 2020 election too. I think that's going to, determine where we go come year end. But I think we'll be higher.
Outstanding. So is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right.
But first, Mick, give us a number because we're going to have a little competition.
We're trading
element to this.
32 now.
I think we'll be over 42.
Whoa.
Big prediction.
4,200.
Nice.
That's high.
Yep.
All right.
Outstanding.
Hey, just following the trend. We've been in a 10-year bull market. I think we're going to continue higher.
Outstanding. I like that number. I'll be honest with you. I took a quick glance last year from the settlement price, and I think it was January 31st, to right now where we're trading with, it's about 560 points. So we settled 24.40 last year after that big dip on Christmas Eve. I think we're going to go higher too. I can't argue that one at all. I don't think we're going to see that 4,000 mark. I've got. I'm a little less aggressive on my up move. I really do think elections are going to have a big factor here. I'm going 35, 75, and a quarter. That's my price right there. Lock it in now. I'm calling Vegas.
Could you be specific?
Yes, I was being very specific.
Jeez. Boy, you got it down to the tick.
Well, yeah, I didn't write that down. I didn't want you guys copying me.
No.
So now I can write down my exact specifics.
Now, if that is actually the close on December 31st, 2020, we're going to have like a big vacation or something to
Well, no,
celebrate.
it'll mean that Dan is from the future and has come back right now to
Yeah.
save
Right,
us
exactly.
from something.
He's Biff.
So, what do you think?
Of course, everything is contingent on everything else, but if things continue the way they're going, I'm saying the S&Ps are going to be up around 4,500.
4,500. All right. Well, I guess it comes down to me. I'm on the team with Dante Suarez over here, who says lower. I'm going to go lower. We brought up 28% this year. The multiples in the S&P are about where they were, I think, during the dot-com crash, or right around there. We're getting up at a 20 multiple. Earnings have not been increasing. I don't know where we're going too much higher. The Fed says they're not cutting anymore. I am going lower. I'm going to go 10% lower. We're at 32. So that's what? 2,900.
29.
Or thereabouts. So I'm going to say 2,953.
Okay.
That's my pick.
All right, fair enough. All
Went
right,
down
lock
there.
them in.
And
We're moving forward.
I like it because, most people are usually wrong. You're the only one the other way.
Well, when it's 33 next year, we'll all be wrong. But Dan will win.
I told you guys, it's 35, 75 and a quarter. Just lock it in. Call Vegas. Call your bookie. That's it.
Rob
I have
M,
no idea.
Rob M says 3,000. All right.
Not as bullish. That would be more bearish.
I would say that's, bearish in general. So, okay, we're going to move on from the equities.
We got
Wait,
a
do you
fun
want
one. No, we got a fun one.
Oh, we do?
The next one's exciting.
Yes, this is a special guest here today.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about Bitcoin right now.
Just so everyone knows, Bitcoin right now is trading 68.95. That's 6,895. If we recall last year, before they opened up, a year and a half ago maybe, before they opened up the contract, it was trading almost 20,000. Which I will, I'll give my prediction on this one first. I'll go 20,000. Here we come. Get on the bull. Options open up in 2020, January of 2020. I think this is going to create a lot more opportunity to engage in this contract. 20,000. Here we go.
20,000. Okay, that's a rough. The high was like right around there.
Yeah,
The high was when the CME contract opened, basically, and everybody hammered it down.
Right. You could finally short it, and that's what happens, right?
right.
It
Well, we're
becomes
coming
an
back.
It becomes an actual market.
What about you, Hug?
Where is it at?
It's 68.95.
68.95.
68.95. Hug with the conservative bet there.
Well, I think with Bitcoin, you could probably flip a coin up or down. I don't know, I don't care, but I think if that got whacked a little bit more and went to some lower prices, I'd probably want to scoop up a coin or two myself, just for longer term, more of an investment than a trade, if anything.
Right.
I think there's still so many people out there smarter than me that are uncertain about this product. So
No.
maybe a little bit of a gamble, but I think over the course of time, maybe we could see it higher. So in 2020,
20,000. It just adds up. 20, 20, 20.
sure, you could be right. It could be 40,000. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe we'll be above 10,000 in 2020.
10,000.
End of
right?
2020.
Alan O'Neill says he's buying at the 1,000s, and Dante is saying 13,000. All right.
You're on the right track, Dante.
I'm going to go full audit the Fed. We're seeing 150,000. No, I'm just kidding. I like the idea. I like the idea of cryptocurrencies. I don't know why it has to be Bitcoin that comes out on top. I could be enlightened on this. I know JP Morgan's coming out with their own. Facebook's coming out with their own. There's going to be governments coming out with their own. So I don't know if I'm long term. I'm bullish on the asset category maybe, but not necessarily in Bitcoin. So I'm going to say next year it's at 3,000.
3,000.
I'm happy you said that, Jack, because I think it's extremely important. If you're going to be trading a derivative product, whatever it is, you really should be educating yourselves on these things. And, cryptocurrencies is something that I haven't taken the time. I understand a little bit about them and what's out there, but it's not something I've fully educated myself in, so I don't have a strong feeling about that kind of stuff.
My original assumption was extinct.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You and Warren Buffett.
because all these other ones are coming out, and the government doesn't like when money moves and they don't know about it.
Yeah, and they have armies.
Yes, they do.
But now they get to watch Bitcoin as it moves through the CME, through the future product of it. I think CBOE had or still does have a contract for it. So they're starting to watch these things. And I think the reason, just want to answer Jack's question, why Bitcoin got selected. So when they started looking into this, I've done a little bit of research into some of the cryptocurrencies. Basically, Bitcoin was doing tenfold the volume of any other cryptocurrency out there. It was the most protected, so to speak, and I think that's why they chose Bitcoin. And it brings in a lot of younger people a little bit more interested, because I know high school kids were scooping up Bitcoin, college kids were getting involved. It was a nice little segue into the futures market.
Yeah.
It was the tulips.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was the tulips.
Dutch tulips. I think Norman brings up a good point that he'll look into it when he can buy a cup of coffee. So
That's
good
a great point.
Yeah.
All right, well, do you guys want to move on from the
Tangible is
cryptos?
important.
Sure.
Let's move on to the next one.
Let's get something that's physical, all right?
Crude
Let's talk
oil.
Crude oil.
Crude oil.
Jack, why don't you start? You've been catching the tail on all of this, and just
Well, I guess it's
don't look at my prices. It's trading $61 right now.
so crude oil is not something that I really pay as much attention to. I was more in on the equities and cryptocurrency earlier. You say it's at 61 right now?
61. Don't copy.
I remember riding the train. The train was super crowded in 2008 when oil was at like $150 a barrel.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking then there was no way 10 years from now I was thinking it was going to be like a Mad Max situation, like it was going to be $300, $500 a barrel. That of course didn't happen, but I still think this is really cheap. I still think that eventually, as more people join the global middle class, there's a lot of economic growth. People are going to want that sort of energy. I'm going to pick $75.
Decent number. I'll go. So we'd have this big conversation about OPEC. They're cutting production. They just came out and cutting another 500,000 barrels a day. But we talked about this yesterday. U.S. net exporter. Election year, everyone's going to be talking about prices being lower. I do think President Trump's going to do what he can to make sure prices are lower. We also know a lot of these oil companies go on furlough at below $55. So I think we're going to stay between this 60, 55, but I'm going to get very specific here, and my exact answer is 55.80. 55.58, excuse me, 55.58. That's the price we settle on December 31st.
55.58. Again, very specific.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah,
I
that's
do
good.
like your confidence.
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 Got to
Well,
exude the confidence. Dante agrees we're going to be in that range as well.
Is that confidence or is it a joke?
I don't know. We'll find out that on December 31st of next year, right?
If I'm still here.
No, I'm
I'm locking in all these bets with the Vegas odds. You never know.
I'm kind of with you. I'm a little bit higher than that because we do have OPEC saying that they're going to be reducing production as economies recover. There's going to be more demand for oil, but we don't really know. Is there an accountability for how much crude OPEC is actually going to produce? It's difficult to keep a finger on that. So I'm going to go, and because we're right around that profit or no profit level at 55, $60, I'm going to go with 65.
65.
I like it. There's a long history of OPEC not doing what they say they will do.
Yeah, I didn't
Wise words from Mick.
didn't want to call them out on it, but thank you.
Wait, you didn't want to call out OPEC? Okay.
Gotta look over my shoulder here during the recording. I think a lot of you guys know that I'm kind of a technical trader, but I think there's some fundamentals to really be looking at here with crude oil. U.S. is now a net exporter as of this year. Crude oil, we're also the largest consumer. You do have OPEC to think about. I'm bullish crude oil from here. I think we'll probably go up to $74.99.
74.
Price is right. Move there.
A penny lower than
Not your Price is Right rules. Okay.
No, I'd like to say 72. I won't be too big of a jerk to you. $72. But I do think we'll probably be in the $60, $70 range. When I did start trading, we were looking at $145 crude, watching $20 swings in a day. Even the spreads were moving $25. The calendar spread. So that was a wild time that I pretty much sat on my hands during in regards to that market. So
Didn't want to get in there and start just slinging.
I mean, your risk is about 500 ticks in the course of 2 minutes potentially in some of those swings during that time. So yeah, I didn't have the ammo for that.
It's a tough one.
Well, cool. Speaking of ammo, this one's probably big on the people that are storing dried beans and ammunition. We're going to talk about gold. So right now, what we got gold at right now, Dan?
Gold right now is trading $14.80. Don't look at my numbers.
I was looking for the number now. Okay, $14.80. Does anyone want to start out with where they think gold
I think
will be?
it's John's turn. John hasn't kicked one off yet.
All right. With a pretty substantial expectation for the performance of equities next year, I'm going to be looking at gold moving lower by the end of next year, and I'm thinking not substantially, but maybe around 1,200.
All right, 1,200.
I like that. I'm just going to kind of join John. I'm a
You're
little.
going 1201, aren't you?
No, I want to go lower because I was thinking 1,100 originally, so I'll just throw in 1,199. No, 1,100. 1,100.
I think those are fair predictions. I'm not going as aggressively lower. I think there's still going to be some concern with the equity markets coming into the election. So I do intend to see them holding a little bit higher, but I'm giving up everything we made this year. I'm going right back to last year. 1280 is my number.
All right, I'm gonna go 1350 lower, but I'll give a little bit of food for thought. This is just some sort of galaxy brain thought I had right here. Sort of longer term, do we see money flowing into the cryptos as something that could affect gold prices? Because if you think about it, there's a little bit like, if we're looking at a long term, it's sort of the same thought. You have a limited supply,
Similar.
Store of value.
store of value play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you have something there.
We got to see a lot more participation coming into the cryptos before I think we start to see that money transition from gold to the cryptos. There's just no volume there. Even on the biggest day, if you were to look at all cryptocurrencies traded, remember looking at this, I think it was last year, looking at it, they showed the net total amount of money invested into all major cryptocurrencies out there was a minute fraction of what's in gold, of what's in the equity market. So there's got to be a big move to see that money
Yeah,
transition.
so maybe if we were talking about our predictions for 2029, January 31st, maybe then I go a little lower.
So I think you brought up something that interests me: the potential move from money flowing into cryptos as opposed to gold. Do you think that's a generational thing? I think older generations, gold's been around forever. You know, it is the benchmark safe haven.
And they trust it. You can actually.
It's
touch it.
tangible. I think the younger generation might not view gold the same, and maybe cryptos, if they're sophisticated enough to, make that kind of differentiation.
Well, we might all be onto something here, so.
Next time on Coach's Playbook.
So yeah, I think we'll probably finish up here. This is our last Coach's Playbook of the year, right?
Absolutely,
A couple of weeks
yeah.
off for the holidays right now. Anyone doing anything super interesting?
Family and snowmobiling.
Family and snowmobiling.
Family and cooking.
Yeah.
And Christmas.
Oh, that too.
Family and cooking.
Yeah. Family and taking care of a small dog. That's what
Yeah.
I've been doing for a while now.
Pup takes a lot of time up.
Yeah,
they absolutely do.
You got a fresh pup too.
Good time, good time. Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about me, and
I also
yeah,
have a
forgot
puppy.
about-
Yeah.
Well, we're
all
gonna
right.
be with
All
our
right.
puppies.
I think it's time for the quote.
Let's do it.
I'm going to preface this with saying these are just predictions. Remember, we're throwing out random numbers. At the end of the day, I think this quote says it all. The best way to predict the future is to create it. You can't make that guess. You got to see how things play out throughout the year. And this is said by Peter Drucker. I thought that was just a pretty spectacular quote.
Very good quote.
Yeah.
Very good quote. So much can happen in the coming year that can change the outcomes of these markets, and we're just kind of, hopeful to maybe be right.
Sure. Make no
Have a
doubt.
little fun with it, but always
Yeah.
remember, you got to trade what you see, not what you think it's going to end on next year.
Absolutely.
All right, well, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for making your predictions. I love the hate crew, like Matthew F. saying 2,200 on the at ES. That's good. That's bold. I like
Yeah.
that. That takes chutzpah. So anyway, we'll see you guys all in the new year. Have a wonderful holidays wherever you are, wherever you're celebrating, and we'll see you in the new year, and we'll try and make some money.
Hey.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Happy holidays.